Hello, my name is Regina Cardenas, and today I will be presenting on water purification. The moral use and limitation of water should be a priority, but it has not given the recognition that it should. One example to conserve water is reusing this substance as many times as possible. This is known as reclaimed water. Ultraviolet UV radiation are invisible rays that contain energy that comes from the sun. One way in which these rays could be applied is by killing microorganisms by destroying their DNA. The purpose of this lesson is to investigate the before and after effects of the disinfection method based on UV. At the end of this presentation, we should be able to answer these three questions. Why UV rays sterilize contaminated water? How contaminated is the water from the Rio Grande River based on E. coli coliform quantities? And what is bacteria's resistance to UV rays? In this investigation, water was collected from the Rio Grande River. Samples were placed in plates, and these plates were exposed to UV light. These are the results after 3 hours. As you can see, there is a moderate amount of bacteria present. These are the results after 6 hours. As you can see, the amount of bacteria decreased. These are the results after 9 hours. As you can see in these two pictures, there's almost nothing. As you can see, the less time they were exposed to the UV, the more coliform units. The more time, the less. For people who need a graphical representation or visual element, here is a graph. You can see the negative correlation. The more time they were exposed, the less colony-forming units of E. coli. Scientific principle, the UV killed microorganisms, in this case specifically E. coli bacteria. How? Well, the UV managed to make changes in the DNA of the bacteria. The UV triggered the formation of thymine or cytosine in the dimers of the DNA and uracil dimers in the RNA. We know that a change in the DNA is known as a mutation. This resulted in cell death and failure to reproduce or continue growing or surviving. How can this lesson could be applied in the real world? Well, there are regions in the world that don't have access to safe drinking water, and they have contaminated water. So this contaminated water can go through this process in order to become clean water. That is it for today. This was my presentation of water purification, and I hoped that you actually enjoyed it. Thank you and keep learning.